Okay, so have you ever been in that room? You know the one. The team has this brilliant product vision, a really clear MVP, and then silence. That big question just hangs in the air. How do we turn this amazing idea into actual work? Well, today we're going to dive into a super powerful tool designed to bridge that exact gap, all based on the book, How to Define, Prioritize, and Refine User Stories Using the Product Backlog Building Canvas by Paulo Caroli and Fabio Aguiar.
I want you to picture this for a second. Your team just wrapped up a fantastic Lean Inception workshop. The energy is electric, the MVP features are all mapped out, and then everything just grinds to a halt. That one dreaded question pops up. So, now what? It's that critical and, let's be honest, often frustrating moment where all those high-level ideas need to become a real actionable backlog.
And you know, this wasn't just some random problem, it's what sparked a huge breakthrough. Paulo Caroli, who actually created the Lean Inception method, saw this pattern again and again. Teams would define a great MVP, but then they'd just hit a wall. Trying to create well-structured user stories became this massive bottleneck. That is, until he saw Fabio Aguiar's Product Backlog Building Canvas in action. For Caroli, it was a total game changer, the missing piece of the puzzle that finally connected the MVP to the backlog.
So what is this gap really? Well, it's that void between knowing what you want to build, that's your MVP, and figuring out how to actually start building it. This is a super dangerous place to be, because it's where all that great momentum can just fizzle out, and where little misunderstandings can start to creep into the team's work. You know, traditionally, this whole burden just gets dropped on the product owner. They become this bottleneck, trying to single-handedly translate all the features into stories. But the PBB Canvas, it completely flips that script. It turns creating a backlog from a solo mission into this awesome, collaborative team effort, building a shared understanding from the get-go.
And that is where this canvas comes in. It's specifically designed to be that missing bridge, a powerful collaborative tool that helps you turn those MVP features into a real, solid plan.
So what is it exactly? The Product Backlog Building Canvas, or PBB for short, is really a collaborative workshop. Its main goal isn't just to create a to-do list. No, it's about building a deep, shared understanding of the product across the entire team. We're talking developers, stakeholders, everyone, before a single user story is even written.
And the real power of the canvas comes down to its three core principles. First, it's simple. It uses plain language so anybody can jump in and contribute. Second, it's fast. The sessions last hours, not days, and you walk away with enough work for your next few sprints. And finally, it's lean. It just cuts out all the noise and focuses only on the essential steps you need to build a really effective backlog.
This is, hands down, my favorite analogy from the book. Think about it. A waiter just takes your order, right? I'll have the steak. Okay. But a doctor diagnoses your problem before they even think about prescribing a solution. The PBB process pushes the team to think like doctors, to really truly understand the user's pain points first, before writing out prescriptions in the form of backlog items.
So, how does this all actually work in practice? Let's get into the nitty-gritty and see how this thing builds a backlog step by step.
The PBB Canvas has this really clear four-step flow that's designed to build on itself. First up, you contextualize the product. Then, you describe your users, or personas. From there, you figure out the features they need. And finally, you break those features down into individual product backlog items, or what we call PBIs.
Everything starts with the why. This is where the whole team gets on the same page about the fundamental context. What are the actual problems we're trying to solve here? And what does success really look like for us? This first step creates the foundation for every single decision that's going to come after it. Okay, so once the why is crystal clear, the focus shifts to who. Who are we actually building this thing for? Here, the team defines specific user personas like a speaker or an event organizer and then maps out their key activities. This is such a crucial step because it makes sure that every feature is directly connected to a real user's world. And now it's time to connect the who with the what. For each persona you've defined, the team brainstorms the features they'll need to get their jobs done. So for our speaker persona, a critical feature might be something like the ability to publish work. See? This is where user needs start to transform into real, tangible product features.
All right, and this is where the magic really happens. This final step is where those high-level features become actual, actionable work. The team takes a big feature like publish work and just breaks it down into the smallest possible pieces of value.
We call these product backlog items, or PBIs. And these are the building blocks for all your future user stories. Okay, so at this point, your canvas is probably covered in sticky notes. It's a gold mine of ideas, but it's also kind of chaotic, right? So the next step is to bring some order to that chaos, and we do it with a really simple but powerful prioritization technique. The technique is called co-org. First, the team classifies each PBI by giving it a score based on criteria you all agree on, like business value or how often it's used. Next, you order the high-level features into a logical user journey. And finally, you organize all the PBIs under each feature, arranging them from the highest score down to the lowest. And the transformation is, well, it's pretty amazing. You go from this jumbled, disorganized list of ideas to a beautifully prioritized matrix. Your backlog now tells a story that you can actually read from left to right and top to bottom. It becomes this clear, visual roadmap that's totally ready for sprint planning.
And now, for what is honestly the best part. After all this amazing collaborative work, writing really high-quality user stories becomes almost easy.
You probably heard this before, right? A great user story just answers 3 simple questions. Who wants it, what do they want, and why do they want it? Well, the beauty of the PBB Canvas is that the team has already done all the hard work of finding those answers, together. So at this point, the stories practically write themselves. You just pull the components directly from the different parts of the canvas. The who is your persona, as a speaker. The what is the PBI, I want to perform the publication of work. And the why is the benefit of the feature so that I can make content available. It's that simple. And it doesn't matter if your team is all about sticky notes on a wall or if you use a digital tool. The process is exactly the same. The collaborative output from that PBB session flows directly into an organized backlog in a tool like Trello, and boom, you have a clear pipeline of work ready for your next sprint.
And this is so important to remember. This isn't about creating some rigid, set-in-stone plan. The book offers this perfect analogy. Product development is like following a trail, not being stuck on fixed train tracks. The PBB Canvas is a living document that guides your journey, and it lets you learn and adjust your path as you get new information.
So when you boil it all down, the real power of the Product Backlog Building Canvas is that it basically democratizes the backlog. It creates a shared language and this collective understanding, which means the entire team feels ownership and can confidently connect every single task all the way back to real value for the customer and for the business.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought to consider for your own projects. If your backlog isn't telling a clear and compelling story of customer value that your whole team understands, what story is it telling?